Hey Taurus, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings, and this week we're actually doing the monthly readings. Okay, so looking ahead at July, and this month we are going to be doing a 3x3 spread. So we will be looking at three topics: the important energy, the career and finances, as well as the love energy for you. I will be splitting those into three portions: the overview, the challenge, and then the advice for the month. We will be doing that with the Green Glyphs Lenormand deck there. I also have here the Boji blog Lenormand for clarity. And then starting off this month, I'm using the Shine from the Inside Oracle deck. We're going to just get you an overview message for July. Okay, but getting into it for you, Taurus energy for July. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well, Taurus. I do really appreciate that, as well as obviously, leaving me comments. Let me know if there is any specific topics you would like me to do readings on. I love to read all those comments, so thank you to everyone who does leave those. Taurus energy for July 2025. Let go of control and relax into flow. Okay, so there is the need for you to sort of calm down a little bit, Taurus. Let go of the need to control the way that everything is happening around you and for you, and letting go of the need to control, outcomes of situations this month as well. That sometimes we just need to sort of allow things to just happen the way that they will, and wait until there's an actual result before we start stressing about that. I kind of feel like that's, for a lot of you, this is what this is about, is you're trying to control situations so heavily that you're already sort of trying to preempt what's going to happen in the situation, and so you're already sort of stressing about things that haven't even happened yet. So that's sort of coming through there. But we'll have a look and see how that plays out for you this month. I will draw all 9 cards for you, Taurus, and then we will sort of get into it. Okay, so starting off for Taurus with the important energy for July. Taurus, the important energy for July for our Taurus, please. The overview, the challenge, and the advice. Okay, so a lot of people are getting that same main overview there, to be honest. So, you may want to check other placements as well. Quite a lot of people have been getting similar kind of energy. Career and finances for Taurus in July. The overview, the challenge, and the advice. Okay, so love energy for Taurus in July, please. Once again, overview, challenge, and advice. Okay, so even though we are seeing energy that has been sort of showing itself pretty clearly for, a lot of people this month, things are a little bit different for you, Taurus. Kind of slightly backwards for you, I feel. You're having kind of the opposite side of issues for you, rather than the way that it has come out for other placements there. But that main overview there for the important energy, we have the Coffin. All right, so the Coffin energy, it is about death and rebirth. So it does cover both the ending and the new beginning, the death of something and then the rebirth of something else. So it is a bit of a transformative kind of energy here. I do feel as though for a lot of you, this is just stress. It's not necessarily things actually ending. It's not actually, things closing out in your life, and it's kind of just stress, I feel, for a lot of you here, that once again, that trying to control every little thing in your life here, it does sort of seem to be connected to that, that you're, worried about things ending, worried about, what happens if that is no longer in my life, what happens if, the door closes on that, and whatnot. So for a lot of you, it's kind of a bit of a reminder that, life is all about transformation, and there's constantly, things ending and new things beginning. And it's just the cycle of life, the death and the rebirth cycle. It's just, that's what life does. Everything must come to an end, but then we are reborn again. So, there may be some things that, you may be worried about what happens, if that ends in my life. And, and you know what? It will be reborn. All that energy will go into something brand new for you. And each time that that happens in our life, even though, yes, it can be a little bit, tension inducing at the time, it does sort of serve its purpose, and it does get us closer to our goals. Okay, so the challenge we're seeing with this message is the lily. Okay, so there's a lot of challenged by emotional intimacy and challenged by longevity. So it's kind of very much showing us that you are sort of, once again, preempting things ending. Even if you're worried about this ending 20 years from now, you are still, because the challenge is seeing how things could actually work long term as a positive for yourself. I kind of feel, and being, the challenge by emotional intimacy means that you are a little bit closed off to being fully open and vulnerable about certain things. It's kind of like you're not giving your all because you're already worried about, well, I'm going to lose that one day. So you're not putting your all into it, whereas sometimes we need to just throw our whole selves into it, come what may. And I feel like that's kind of what, why this is challenging you this month, is because you're kind of just not giving it your all, and you're already, oh, well, this is going to come to an end, so there's no point getting attached, kind of thing. So you are a little bit challenged by allowing yourself to, become intimate with things on an emotional level, like allow things in, basically. We have the advice here as the stars for you, Taurus. So the advice is to, just be hopeful and optimistic, to not allow the negative thinking to take control, to just sort of relax into the flow of life and just allow things to happen, just sort of stop and smell the roses and just enjoy things as they are, not worrying about, what they're going to be like tomorrow. The stars really does show us to, yes, have hopes and dreams in mind, have goals in mind, but you don't need to necessarily worry about what happens when that doesn't work. To really focus on the optimism and my wishes coming true, and what happens if my wishes are fulfilled. Then it's worth giving my all, isn't it? So if you are moving towards things in your life like, this is my desire, I have hope that this is going to do this, then you're going to give it your all. Whereas if you're moving towards something already worried about it ending, you're not going to give your all to it. All right. So it's really just asking you to focus on, the desired results, the desired goals, and being hopeful and optimistic about those, rather than allowing yourself to dwell on the negative aspects and the things that haven't even happened yet, if that kind of makes sense. We want to stay hopeful for the things that we wish to happen, but not allowing ourselves to, change the way that we're acting towards people and things in our life because we're already looking at them leaving our life. Okay, if that makes sense, Taurus. When it comes to career and finances, we do have the overview coming through as the whip. Okay, so that is a little bit of a concern for you, Taurus. But to be completely honest, it doesn't feel like hugely dramatic conflict. The whip is, I feel like for you, it's probably more like along the lines of punishing yourself and restricting yourself financially this month. And, kind of like, oh, Taurus, you spent too much. That's it. You're not allowed to spend anything. So I do feel this energy of you restricting yourself as a form of self-punishment. And that's the conflict that's coming through here, because you're not allowing yourself to just enjoy life this month. You are really seeming to be taking life quite seriously this month, especially when it comes to finances, because the challenge is the child. and the child is what seeks adventure, what just enjoys the moment. So that's the challenge. So you're not just enjoying the money that you have this month. You're not just having fun with it and playing, being playful and allowing yourself to just spend and be a little bit more adventurous and splash out when you need to. You're restricting yourself very heavily. You are a little bit challenged by this. Oh, well, if I can't have, I feel like money might be a little bit tight. I'm punishing myself by, just not allowing anything at all. It does feel very restrictive in that sense, Taurus. But there may also be a bit of an argument between yourself and somebody else, because you may just sort of, if there is somebody else involved in your career or your finances, you may be sort of feeling as though, oh, they're spending immaturely, or they're spending without thinking, and or they're doing things on an immature level around the workplace and things like that, and you're sort of coming in. I feel like you're coming in a little bit more, don't do that, because that challenges you heavily this month. You may be challenged by children as well. Actually, children's perceptions of money may be a bit of a challenge for you this month. So if you do have actual children around you, they may be actually a little bit of a challenge financially this month as well. The advice is the clouds. Okay, so that's very interesting as advice for you here, because it kind of does tell us that, once again, you need to be thinking very rationally and logically, but you also need to be allowing yourself, to balance, right? Balance is coming through very strongly here, that, because you're being so challenged by this free energy, this adventurous kind of energy. And then we see the advice coming in very, very rational and logical, and with thinking things through very carefully. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should be so, because I feel like there's an element here of, are you doing it? Are you overthinking it? And are you doing it to restrict yourself? Or are you coming from a more balanced perspective here? Which, because logic and rationale is actually about balance. It's not about, I have to go so far over here and just be very responsible and strict. That's not logical. Logical is about balancing, work and play. Logic is about not allowing your overthinking to confuse you and make you sort of go too far into the logic material world here. So I do feel as though, your thoughts are a little bit confused this month when it comes to money and your career stuff. And it's because of the disbalance. You're very muchly in this, I'm trying to be responsible, but you just seem to be going just a little bit too far with it this month, Taurus, where you're trying to control every little thing, control your spending, control other people's spending, and that's where we're seeing that you do need to let go of a little bit of control and go back into the flow a little bit more here, because that helps balance you out a little bit. But it is going to be a challenge to find that balance this month, because you are being challenged specifically by that flow, by that easiness, by that just going with the flow kind of energy. So I suppose too, the advice would be to, every cloud has a silver lining. That even though these clouds, all you're seeing when you're looking up at the clouds is doom and gloom and these big thunder clouds, whereas every cloud does have a silver lining. So really try to make sure you're looking for those silver linings this month, and thinking about the positive things as well as the negative. Okay, I know I'm not. I feel like I'm not able to stop you from, overthinking all the negative stuff this month, Taurus, but at least try to balance it out with positive thinking as well. All right. So every time you catch yourself sort of going down these rabbit holes of negative thinking, try to balance it back out with the positive thoughts and processes for yourself as well. Okay. When it comes to love energy for you, Taurus, the overview we have is the Tower. So you are just in this month just seems to be a very regimented kind of month for you, where you are very trying to stick to your tradition of self, of your very regimented views of what everything should look like in your life. I do just want to clarify that a little bit. Clarify the love messages for Taurus, please. Yeah, okay. So there's a reason why you're isolating yourself a little bit when it comes to love this month. It's because, I just feel, I just keep getting this energy, Taurus, of you just being so serious and in your serious cap this month. Really finding it hard this month to see the lighter side of life and be adventurous with things, remember what you dream of rather than being stuck in the reality of life this month. So really try to balance that out and just have a little bit of fun along the way and release a little bit of that control. We do see with love, you probably are going to be, isolating yourself a little bit from people that you care about, which we all do that at times. But the reason that you're sort of doing that, we have the tree and the house. So you are just trying to balance yourself out within your own self and find that emotional security within your own self, and maybe some growth and healing that you feel like you're needing to do to face some stuff that you maybe haven't faced for a while. And you're really just trying to connect to family this month as well, rather than romantic love. This is a strong family energy, so you may find that you're isolating with people, but you know focusing mostly on the very close, the closest people to you, rather than extending yourself out in love to, friends and family that you're not as close to. If you do have a partner that lives with you, they're kind of falling into this home energy. But if you are sort of someone who is dating and single, you just may not be extending yourself out past the house kind of thing this month. You might be just sort of, I'm going to just stick at home, and whether that's family or just the close knit energy around you, you're keeping your circle very close this month, isolating yourself from the public, I suppose, here. Because the challenge for you with love is the flowers, the bouquet. Okay, so the challenge really is giving your all this month, to really even give. It's kind of a month where you're wanting to just rest and take care of yourself, and just find some balance within yourself, and that, like I said, that emotional security within yourself, mental stability for some of you there as well. But you're just not feeling very generous with your time, your love, your energy this month, which is totally understandable. But like I said, everything in balance, Taurus. Because just keep in mind that the less that you give out, the less that you actually receive back as well. So make sure you are still trying to give to at least a couple of close. Those people closest to you. But it's kind of what's advised anyway, because your advice energy here is the bear. Okay, so just nurturing what's closest to you so that you can really, you are needing to maybe just learn a little bit more about putting up some boundaries, like that maybe that's why we're isolating ourselves a little bit from giving too much to other people, because maybe a lot of you may have this, a past here where you have given too much of yourself, and so you're really just trying to restrict that so that we can sort of get that into balance, and focus on putting up some boundaries so that we're not giving too much of ourselves. It's kind of, it is kind of giving people pleaser type energy, but when we when we try to stop being a people pleaser, sometimes we go too far in the other way. So it's all just this trying to work out where is comfortable for you, where the boundaries actually do lay for you here, Taurus. I just feel like this is a month of you just trying to settle into your own skin a little bit more, and not punishing yourself, but also finding that balance, and allowing things to just happen a little bit more. Making sure that you do have nice boundaries around yourself, so that things can't just happen in a negative way around you anymore. So that when things do just happen around you, that you do have those guidelines to work within. Okay, just nurturing yourself, nurturing the closest bonds that you do have. So once again, I do feel as though there are still people around you in love this month, both platonic and maybe romantic as well. But it's very close knit. It's very family energy, the family unit kind of energy here. So keeping your circle very close this month, and not going above and beyond for others, because that's sort of a bit of a challenge for you this month to give too much to others, because you're needing to just give to yourself a little bit more here, Taurus, so that you can find that balance and security within your own self. Yeah. Okay. So a bit of a rough month. Not going to lie, Taurus, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.